We made it! The season finale is here, and after the absolute carnage of last time, surely there can't be much more to cover this week, can there? Can there? Or can there? I suspect there can. It's Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 10. For the final time, let's get into it! We begin in King's Landing, where everyone's getting their glad rags on for the big trial, apart from Jonathan Pryce, who's obviously definitely not putting on any shoes. We're also reminded that the Grand Maester is actually a virile, sexy stud muffin. Nice one, old man. Back in the throne room, Loris is confessing to everything, including profligacy, which I forgot to Google before recording this.
Profligacy, noun, shameless dissoluteness, reckless extravagance, great abundance.
He also renounces everything, including presumably shoes, before getting a horrific prison head tattoo. Up in the shiny bit of town, Cersei is very much not attending the trial, and she's employed the Mountain to blockade the door of the Puppy Dog King. She's got something planned, I reckon. Elsewhere, those little bird kids have lured the Grand Maester down to the catacombs, followed by cousin Scarface. And before you can say, oh, they're a cute bunch of kids, aren't they? They've turned into tiny stabby murderers. And now we've lost the Grand Maester as well. Plus, he still owed that prostitute money, so that's awkward.
I think you owe me some money, baby.
$200.
Don't you have school tomorrow?
Elsewhere in the catacombs, cousin Scarface is snooping around, but then he gets stabbed by one of the murderous little birds too, just as he discovers, holy shit, the wildfire that the Mad King left under the city. But it's too late. Everyone is vaporized. Loris, the cat's eyes one, their dad, the actor Jonathan Pryce. Cersei has wiped the slate clean. And someone gets killed in a superbly unnecessary way by a giant bell. Cersei has finally captured the Confess Shame Lady, and in order to exact her revenge, waterboards her with cheap red wine.
I am not drinking any fucking Merlot!
Before leaving her alone with the Mountain, to presumably do his textbook head-crushing maneuver, but a lot slower, so it's more like torture. Meanwhile, upstairs, the puppy-faced king is distraught, takes off his hat, and does a Bran out of the window! The king is dead! And King's Landing has been fully reset to version 1.0. Over at the Twins, Walder Frey's hanging out with that stud muffin Jamie. They're just shooting the breeze about killing kings, and he's being a generally slimy little shit who I hope gets his comeuppance ASAP. Yeah, Sam Tarley's back, and him and his family have arrived at Maester Academy, where he's greeted by a weird robot monk whose chief concern appears to be irregularities. However, he gets eventually shown through to the library, and he is like a kid in a candy store. If the candy store was full of old books, but he had still eaten all of the sweets. Yeah, why not? Yeah, go on then. Back in King's Landing, Cersei is coming to terms with losing another child king. That's 2 in 3 seasons. Frankly, careless. What have we learnt? Whether you're a good or a bad king, Cersei will end you. Over at Winterfell, Jon and the saggy witch are reminiscing about the past, when in storms Sir Davos, and he is pissed, and gets Melisandre to explain to Jon why she set fire to that lovely stony-faced kid for no apparent reason. Even fanny magic can't get you out of this one, Melisandre, and she is banished out into the cold, which, as we all know, can be very dangerous for OAPs. Up on the battlements, Jon and Sansa are discussing who gets the big room now they've inherited Mum and Dad's house. She also says she should have told Jon about the Knights of the Vale. Yeah, no kidding. Maybe you could have saved hundreds of lives, although then we probably wouldn't have had that sweet battle scene last week. So fair's fair. Also, a white raven has arrived, which means winter is here. Okay. Camera jokes. Next, we're off to Dawn, where the Avenger Diana Rigg is tearing those hot ninjas a new one. Her entire lineage has been vaporized by Cersei, and she demands revenge. But who's going to help her? Well, Who's this sneaky Mr. Sheen in the shadows? It's Varys! This is where he came on his secret mission, and he promises fire and blood. Nice. Over in Marine, Daenerys deputises Dario Naharis to keep the peace in the place, while she heads off on another husband-finding mission, for strategic purposes, of course.
Tonight, on the emotional season finale of The Bachelor.
Slaver's Bay becomes the Bay of Dragons, and they have quite an amicable breakup, to be fair. Presumably he'll get the dragons on weekends. Tyrion is of course on hand to offer a rubbish pep talk. Despite this, he still wins his special Blue Peter badge and becomes the Hand of the Queen. That shitbag Walder enjoying a delicious breakfast pie served by that mysterious lady from earlier. And oh shit, she's baked 420 of his kids into it. But hang on a second. Yes! It's Arya in a Mission Impossible mask, here to serve him the piping hot gravy of justice he so deserves. Under the red tree, and despite having sold her last season, Littlefinger is still trying to get off with Sansa. She does the classic lean-in rebuttal, and he just keeps stirring it up, trying to drive a wedge between her and Jon. Bran and Mira get dropped off at the magic tree of bloody tears by their half-dead Uncle Benjen, and then we're quantum leaping back into the past to find out what did retro Ned Stark see in that tower. OMG! Revelations! Jon actually is a Stark and a Targaryen. Basically, if this whole story doesn't end up with him marrying Daenerys and them riding off into the sunset on a dragon with tin cans tied to the back, I will be livid. Back at Winterfell, the troops are getting restless. That is until everyone's favourite new miniature hard-ass lady, Mormont, puts the smack down and changes their minds. Jon Snow is the king in the north. The king in the north. The king in the north. She's a good kid, that one. Jaime arrives back in King's Landing just in time to see Cersei taking her completely unrightful place on the Iron Throne. He does not look happy, but he'll probably still try and f*** her later. Finally, Daenerys sets sail with all her pals in tow. Tyrion, Theon Greyjoy, Comedy's Gemma Whelan, the dragons, even Varys has made it back somehow. He got back very quickly. Anyway, all the chess pieces are finally in place, and the ultimate battle for the Iron Throne is about to begin. Next season, probably. We did it. What an incredible series, and so was Game of Thrones. If you missed any episodes, click over there to catch up. Please subscribe so you can see what I get up to in future. And if you fancy watching something else, check out my comedy vlog, Die Trying. Until next time, Valamagoulis!